Yes guys, I'm back with another one, and I'm going to be looking through my usuals: BTC dominance, USDT dominance. I'm going to have a little look today at the DXY, the NQ and the SPY. Just have a little look at what they're doing. CPI report, we're going to look at that. Trump inauguration on the January 20th. We'll have a little look at the sailors' buys, and just overall going over the economy and a few other things that I've got lined up. So yeah, let's get straight into it, guys. So let's start with BTC, see where we're at, see what we're doing. So BTC yesterday had a big push down, took all this liquidity. Didn't take this here. It's probably a small amount of liquidity, around 88k. We've got 85k. We've still got that fair value gap on the daily, which is there. We've also got another one a little bit further down, between 74 and 70. So we've still got them inefficiencies in the market to fill, and you know, they don't always fill, but a lot of the time they fill. I'm also looking at the volume. So if we look at the volume here and where we drop down to, there were nothing here. So like I've said previously, generally what will happen is it will come back to the big volume node, which is where the point of control is. We get back down below this point of control and we could flush again. If we do flush and we stay below the low of last week, there's a potential of going down into these zones where this fair value gap is, and then, you know, another fair value gap there. I'm not saying it is going to do that, but potentially that's what could happen. So that's just a little overall view of BTC. The push from where we were, you know, that's a 10% move in less than 24 hours. That's a big move to keep sustained. So, you know, it could change really fast and fly back down. It's come up here, it's liquidated a lot of people once again. We had this daily trend, you know, it could stay above that, hit the trend, and then away it goes. It could do this, get back above that trend, take out last week's high, and then trickle back down. Could be a lot of sideways movements at the minute in the market, so just be very careful with what we trade in. We've got USDT dominance. We'll have a little look at that. Actually, sorry, let me go back to BTC, and I'm just going to show you where I had this trend line set up. Daily trend. So I had that daily trend set up from this low at 59 all the way up. It hit that trend perfectly, liquidated all these here in this zone, and then fired off. That's what I was looking at. We also had this supporting area here where it's come, and then it's come again. If it comes back to here, that then could break. That's a real big opportunity where it potentially could break. And if it does break, which, you know, we're coming back down to this trend here at around 80k. If it breaks, it's a very big supporting area, this zone. So we just need to watch that zone. Into the USDT dominance. Same with the USDT dominance, we've got something very similar. So as you all know, they trade inversely to each other. One goes up, one goes down. And the USDT dominance yesterday, as we can see, it did fire up last week's high, took it. It closed back below the daily trend, which is here. This red one is the multiple yearly trend. So what I'm seeing in USDT dominance is we're just seeing this all the time. Back to the same area, back down again, flush down, back to the same area. And it's not really giving you any major opportunities to take the trades, because there's no trend. That's just a range what it's in. It's in a major range. So I'm going to get onto the dollar after. We'll go to BTC dominance. We've got another daily trend, not closing up above. If this starts to take a bit of a shot, come back down into this trend. And if it does close above that, also going to get smashed. And we could potentially be going back to this zone here. If not, and it starts to trail away, we need to see a break either way of this trend before we can do anything major in the market. So I'm only putting out a few little trades here, a few little trades there, because I don't really want to rush into out. I'm just trying to capture small trades up and down. What we've got next is we're going to look at the DXY. And the DXY is in a major daily uptrend. As you can see. Oh, we did it. We've got to do that on our videos. That's what we do. This here up here at around 114 could potentially get taken out before Trump comes in. And then what you've also got to think is Trump is going to want to try and bring this dollar down for the simple fact that, you know, overseas custom aren't going to want to come and buy things from America while the dollar's high. So, you know, you've got a lot of people that are coming out of risk on assets like BTC, Ethereum and things like that, and then going over into the dollar. This is why you've had a strong up move from the dollar. That's another major trend in the dollar there. So this could potentially keep trailing up, wipe this out, and then come down. So keep an eye on that. They ain't long left. I think there's 6 days before he comes into office. So, you know, it's one of them. So we're going to look at the CPI. Sorry about the white screen, but I can't turn it into dark mode this. So the CPI has forecasted a 2.9, which is higher than the last data, which is telling people that this here could be a bit of inflation that's coming in, which is then going to move everything over into the dollar. Until Trump comes in and starts to bring inflation down, you know, it's a different story. The economy's heated at the minute. We all know that. It's very, very heated. So, you know, I think that the Fed did say that they were going to be doing 4 cuts this year, but then they've changed their mind, and now I think that they're only going to be doing 1 cut, which is going to be around June or July. So it's something to take into consideration. Then we've also got, I think this is Sailor. So Sailor yesterday, I think it was yesterday, bought another 243 million of BTC at 95k, which I think is a bit silly, but it is what it is. And then we've got his tracker. It's going to be another white screen, my apologies. So if we go through his tracker and we have a look, we'll just go to recent buys, you know, where he's bought in these zones. So if you have a little look, his buys are getting smaller and smaller. Look here. 1 billion, 2 billion, 5 billion, 5 billion, 1 billion, 2 billion, 1 billion, 500 million, 206 million, 103 million, 243 million. So is it going to get to the stage when it keeps going down? Is Saylor then going to be buying half a Bitcoin? I don't know, say 72k. You know, you've got to think, are people interested in this? MicroStrategy at the minute is coming down. So is he starting to get worried? We'll have to see about that with Saylor. But at the minute where I'm looking, I think Saylor's propping Bitcoin up. That's my personal opinion. So we'll see what occurs. But at some point, he's going to have to sell. Because what you've got to think is he's buying this with debt. He's literally debting himself up to buy Bitcoin. So, you know, it's give and take. You've got to be very careful with what you're doing. Look, if you have a look here, where he was buying, and then he was buying again, and it's, don't get me wrong, he's DCing, but I just think it's very silly of him to be buying up there. It's just my personal opinion, but, you know, I'm not a multi-billionaire like he is, so let him do what he's got to do. So, like I say, with the, we'll go back to the CPI, you know, that's the forecast. At the minute, we're very heated. The economy is, you know, I think the Bank of America said they're only going to do one cut, like I've said. This here, the best case scenario of actual, will be 2.8. And I don't think it's going to push the market much. I think it'll just keep the market stable. Anything above 2.9 will be bad. 2.9 will probably be bad for the market overall, and this is tomorrow. This data is coming out tomorrow. You've also got, if it stays level with previous 2.7, could be okay. Dropping to 2.6 is going to be good. So that's something to keep your eye on. We've also got, we'll go back into Trump a minute. And Trump, so Gary, our mate Gary, on January the 20th, when Trump comes in, he's going to be stepping down. If we look at what Trump said here, let's have a little listen.
On day one, I will fire Gary Gensler and appoint a new SEC chairman.
That's what Trump said. He's going to fire Gary Gensler. This is why Gary, our mate Gary, decided to resign on the 20th. Oh, politics, politics, politics. What a lovely, lovely place to be in. So then we've also got Trump saying this, where is it? Ross Ulbricht, I think he was something to do with the this here when it loads. My apologies for the white screen again. If we have a little look, the Silk Road, I think he was something to do with this. I don't know for certain, but I'm sure he was something to do with this. And this is what he said about Ross.
On day one, I will commute the sentence of Ross Ulbricht to a sentence of time served.
So, Seems like Donald Trump's going to do a lot on day one. It does to me, possibly does to you. But, you know, what Trump says and what Trump does are two completely different things, aren't they? And we've also got this by another guy on Twitter. You know, that the average drawdown of Bitcoin this year has been 8.9%. You know, the consolidation phase at the minute stands at 12. During the previous consolidation phase, the maximum drawdown was 26. That's when we were in that big 8-month going sideways. So another 26% drop in Bitcoin, in BTC. If we do get a 26% drop, I'm not saying we are gonna, but if we do, so from there, we've had a 12. A 26 would bring it to the gap. Altcoins are going to get smashed in the process, but this will be good. We want something like this. I don't think it's healthy with the market doing things like this. That's in my personal opinion. You know, we had something similar like this, and I think it took let's get to it. It took 13 days for it to go 20%. Within a day of this drop, it's done 9 already. Look at the volume. The volume is low. Something similar here. The volume started to weaken, drop, weak volume. Look at the high volume there. And it still crashed. So it's just one of them things you've just got to keep an eye on. You know, the way it's going at the minute, the market's looking a little bit scary. If I'm being honest with you, let's have a look at the NQ. Just having a look at normal markets. NQ. Yep, NQ. So if you have a look at the NQ and the Trump pump that we had, I think it were here around November. We had the pump of 10%. All them gains that you got, you've only kept 3% of them gains from that Trump pump. I think it's the same with the it's very similar with this again. You know, the gains you got from November was 7, and you've already given back 5, so you've only got 2% there. I think it's, yeah, S&P 500 as well. Let's have a little look at that. Same thing. You know, you're gaining around 7% to then give back a lot of it, and you've only kept 2. Still in market structure, filled the gap. The only difference is Bitcoin isn't filling any gaps. And overall, that to me is not, it's not healthy. With these flushes, you want these flushes because it'll reset funding rates and things like that. So if we go to, well, that's long to short ratio. If we go to this and we have a little look at the ETF inflows at the minute, there's still negative ETF inflows. There's only really one here that's positive, but the rest of them are negative. So you've just got to weigh it up and to see actually what's going on here. You know, a lot of these, some of them have gone back positive. Like this here on the 10th, positive. IBIT positive. That's negative, 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 negative. And it could reset the whole market. I was looking at something else. Just having a little look at, we'll go to the weekly. Having a little look where the liquidity lies. And a lot of the liquidity is up here. 131 million. It's all sat in this zone. It's took out a load there in that area. Now we're starting to build it up here. There's 103 million. 9,900k around here. There's a lot of liquidity lying. So there's a lot to take in, but you've just got to be careful with what's going on in these markets. It's going to go white again. On chain, you know, I always look at this. This generally tells you the tops of the markets. We've not even come into this zone yet. We're only here. So, you know, it could go either way at the minute. It's just one of them things. You've got to take your small trades in and out, in and out, in and out. Profit. Supply and loss in profit. Let's have a little look at this. Supply's still in a profit of 88%. Supply and loss is under 11%. You're going down here when it gets to like 50%. You know, that's where your longs are when it's in a supply and loss. So it's give or take at the minute in these markets. Fear and greed, when I can find it, I don't know where it is. That's not it. That's sailors buys. I've got it here somewhere. There it is. Next update is in 13 hours. So we will take a look in 13 hours on the next video to see where we're at. But we're still in greed. And that ain't good. I think in normal, in say normal markets, but the traditional markets, if I can get that up, the traditional markets, fear and greed. Can't spell. Let's get this one up. Let's have a little look at this one. Fear and greed. And let's see where the traditional markets are when it loads. Let's have a little look. Traditional markets are in fear. If you look at the crypto market, we've not even been in neutral. Which to me is not good. But personally, I don't think that's good. We need to at least be down in here so we can get our buys. And that could potentially bring BTC down to these zones. That's what I'm looking at. And we've also got the volume profile that I like to use with BTC. You know, once we're stepping out of that volume profile, it's getting bought back up so fast. Even when we're sitting out of it for the day, we're getting bought back up so fast. Bought back up so fast. These unfilled gaps are not good. A massive move down to fill the gaps would be great. And then we probably will, when we get down into these zones, we'll be in fear. And that's when you want to buy. When we're in fear. At the minute we're not in fear, you don't want to buy. So I'll leave that with you. Others, we're going to have a little scan at others while we're at it on that as well. Others holding that trend fairly well. Big monthly trend. Failing to hold the trend. You can just see how it's held it perfectly every single time. Failing to hold that trend. And we start to close under, we're potentially coming back to this trend. And then later on in the year, we may get that push. Everybody wants that push. But it's not a foregone conclusion that it is going to push. So, you know, like I said, just be careful with what you're doing. Look after your trades. I keep saying that I'm going to be doing these altcoin videos. But with everything that's going on, it's just taking so long to try and get some of these videos done. I'll try and get the altcoin video done today. And I'll try and get it posted at some point this week. Possibly Thursday, Friday. Let's just wait for the CPI data. Let's see what goes on there. And that's it from me, guys. I'm going to get off now. We've got links, as you all know, CWP links. Buy me a coffee links, Andre's trading journal, my trading journal, Mr. B's trading journal. We've got links to a free chat for CWP. We've got Slim's bots. We've got James's Baccarat indicators. And I think that's it. And I will be getting off now. And like I say, just look after where you are in your trading. Take small trades in and out, in and out. And I will catch you in the next one, guys. Happy trading.